Hello everyone, Dave here. On my way to rehearsal at Arlene's Broadway in Buffalo for a musical called The Fantastics. And I figured I would leave a little early and just ride around a little bit. See what's happening in the world. It's a nice day. It is Sunday, May 14th, I believe. It's almost 6 o'clock in the evening. 62 degrees by the thermometer on the motorcycle. It's been kind of cool all day. I've ridden it a couple times already. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous. Went south and it was warmer, which you would expect. But there were some rain showers down south. So Clay and I ended up going to Madison Family Restaurant in the morning for breakfast. Melissa came along too. We went back to his place and dropped Melissa off and then put some Baker wings on his bike because he's having trouble keeping his legs, the tops of his legs, warm. So we put those on. He likes them. And we went for a ride. Now I still have the wings that I do underneath the mirrors. They're not Baker brand wings, but they do what I need them to do, and they protect my hands from cold air. Tops of my legs do get cold, but I tend to layer up when it's cold, so either I'm wearing thermal underwear or I am wearing the Bond body armor pants for winter. So I not as susceptible to the tops of the legs getting cold as Clay is, so that's what he wanted. They look good, and if they do what he wants them to do, then that's perfect. So this is the first actual time that I've put the camera to the helmet. I did a video earlier this year about removing bugs and stuff off the front of the motorcycle, and I still stand by that. It's always worked for me no matter what motorcycle that I have. Just use hot water, no soap, no nothing. Hot water takes the bugs right off. And then of course I've got the F4 windshield, which I cleaned off before I started, and I used the F4 windshield cleaner. It works really well on this, although all I really do need is water for that as well. I can put other types of window cleaners on it and it won't hurt it. I'm just amazed at how well this windshield has stood up. You can go anytime now. But the windshield is magnificent. It's a little wider. It's got the recurve at the top that forces the air a little bit over me more. I can have it lower and I can see over the top of it, and it will still force the air over the top of me, which is nice. And I can lower it if I need to get more air. I'm looking forward to the riding season. So what have I done all winter? Well, I have done a lot of shows. Did the Christmas show, holiday show at Arlene's Broadway on Buffalo, which was nice. Clay wrote it. It was Christmas versus Carol. It was a lot of fun. Then I did the next show. I directed it. And it was a funny thing. Geez. Wow. How quickly I forget the titles. A Little Murder Never Hurt Anybody. Then the next show was 12 Incompetent Jurors, and I was in that. And now I thought I was going to take a break for motorcycle riding and motorcycle instruction. And I was asked to come in and play one of the two fathers in The Fantastics. Anyone that knows me knows my distaste for singing and musicals. So it took a lot. And I'm still not a fan. For anybody listening, I will be honest. We just started rehearsals. We had a read-through and a second read-through last week, and tonight is actually a blocking rehearsal for Act 1. So we're going to do some stuff, and this should be pretty good, actually. Motorcycle classes started. We started late in Ashtabula for a couple of reasons. One, some of the sites in Ohio, they start in March. Well, when you're south, that's really nice because it's warmer there. Here, it was brutal, although we did have some really great days temperature-wise, but you can't predict that when you're making a schedule up. And the second problem we're having is that we're having trouble getting instructors who want to come to Ashtabula, and it's not because they don't want to come here, they want to stay closer to home. There's a lot of instructors in Lake and Cuyahoga County, and they want to stay close to home, but they don't get as many classes, so they get overflow classes, or they want to get a few more classes in, they come to Ashtabula. Well, we're grateful for them to do that. It's appreciated because we do need it, but we are down this year. We're going to have 8 basic riding classes and 2 returning rider classes, and I'm teaching 4 of those 10 classes. I have already taught a returning rider at the beginning of May, and then I'm going to be teaching a BRS this coming week, so that will be fun. And then I don't teach again for a little while, but there will still be other classes going on that other instructors will be handling and taking care of. So it still is a magnificent thing to get some proper motorcycle training. Encourage everybody to do it if they're interested in it, and have to be honest, it is still something that it's not for everybody. Motorcycle riding takes a certain skill set, and just like certain people shouldn't be driving a car, although they think they're entitled to. Not everybody's cut out to ride a motorcycle. You really do need to pay attention to everything that's going on, and yes, that's yellow. I just made a quick decision that, okay, I'm going to keep going rather than try to do a brake procedure on that. Everybody does it in their vehicle. I do it on the bike too. So here we are, going down Route 20 in Ashtabula. Bought some more lights for the motorcycle, and I get grief over that. Mostly convenience lighting. Electrical Connections is a company that they build lighting. Good stuff, good products. I haven't purchased a lot of their stuff, but I've purchased some over the years for different motorcycles, and this one is the emblems on the side of the motorcycle, which I'll show a still shot of, throw it up on the video here. The emblems can be peeled off, and you put this lighting underneath it, and it's LED lighting, and what it does is it lights up, stays white unless you put a turn signal on, and then the turn signal side comes on, and it's really nice. I think it makes the side of the motorcycle light up quite a bit, and that is something that to me, I want to be visible as much as possible. So that's important to me. The other ones were convenience lights. They're called puddle lights, and they're down here where my hand is. There's one on each side, and what happens is when the key fob is on, they turn on when you come within proximity of the motorcycle, and they light up the ground and light up the area around the bike, and I kind of like them. Just gives you a bit more visibility around the motorcycle, because when you turn the motorcycle off and you turn all the electrical off, there's no lights. The next thing I'm working on is trying to figure out what kind of lighting I want to use for the trunk. That has been bothering me for some time, that there's no light in the trunk. Honda does make a light that you can wire in, and it works when you end up opening the trunk and so forth, and it's built for it. There's a cutout for it, but my problem is that the light itself is $75, and then you have to get a special harness to hook it in, which is another $30. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to spend $100 on something that I could just get a $3 LED push puck light and put back there. So I've been trying to find the right size puck light that won't be too big, that will be small enough that it can fit back there and not get crushed and not have any effect on the things that I would be storing on the inside of it. So I found one and I ordered it. I believe it's an Energizer brand. I got it off of Amazon. I literally think it's like $8. It's like 3 inches around and 3/4 of an inch thick. So you just push it to make it come on. It's battery operated. If it works well, I will double side sticky tape it or Velcro it so that I can take it off to change the battery. I'm probably going to Velcro it. I just need to find the right place where it will work well, light up the trunk, and not get in the way of anything that I store in there, namely helmets. So that should be coming this week. One of the other things that I have done, crazily enough, is that I've had a passing interest in learning how to kayak. I've never done it before, ever. And I saw some people doing it in one of the many jaunts down to Punderson State Park when Clay and I go down there. He said he would go to Punderson a lot just to relax, take in the sights, that kind of thing. And there were people kayaking. I thought, wow, this is kind of cool. That would be neat to go out on the water and just chill a little bit and paddle around, see what's going on. But I've never done it before. People said, oh, you should go rent one, see what it's like before you go buy, and da-da-da. Well, gee whiz, I have to go all in on everything. So I've been trying to locate the right kayak for me. Something that I would sit in, not sit on. I know there's two types. And I wanted something 10 feet long. And I wanted something that would handle the weight. For me, I'm not going to go seriously camping and all kinds of crazy things. It's just going to be one of those go out on the water for an hour or two and enjoy it, and then I'm done. I've got this baby. This is what I am passionate about in the summertime. So obviously it hasn't been warm enough to go do that, but I ended up here in the last couple of weeks. I purchased a kayak from Tractor Farm and Supply. I may have gotten the name wrong, but it was the one in Madison. They had some that were at a really, really good price, and I got one that was a sit-in, and I went and got it. The paddle came with it, which is perfect. And then I went to Dunham's and got a kayak life vest that fits me nicely and it won't get in the way of trying to paddle. So I thought that was nice. So all in, I've got about $325 so far. I still need to go and get it registered for water purposes. Like a boat and all that stuff. Ohio, I guess, wants you to do that for every single thing that goes out on the water. So I'll give them my contribution to the money grab. A kayak, for crying out loud. It doesn't even take up that much space. Jeez. And it's propelled by human power, for crying out loud. Unbelievable. So anyway, hopefully within the next month it'll be warm enough that I'm going to actually get out on Clay's Pond and give it a whirl and just get used to it. I'm not going to go shooting rapids or anything. It's going to be nice, lazy stuff. And I thought Punderson's Lake there was really, really conducive to it. I mean, there's places for fishing and so forth, but it looks like a lot of people kayak there. Pymatuning, I suppose there's some areas for kayaking, but it's really for bigger boats and stuff. So I'll work my way up to Pymatuning. Have no interest in going out on Lake Erie with a kayak. I may try Conneaut Creek and Ashtabula River once I learn the logistics of how all that works, because I know you'd have to get dropped off in one spot and then get picked up in another. Heck, I don't know how all that works. Never even sat in a kayak, literally. I mean, I have not sat in the one that I purchased. So I anticipate that Clay is going to show me a few little things here and there. Heck, I don't even know what you wear inside of a kayak. So there you go. Never hurts to have another hobby, as Clay said. I kind of like the hobby I got. This little thing, or should I say this big thing, so off we go. In February, I believe it was February, I applied for the passport card, because this summer it sounds like that Clay and I are going to head north, and I want to go into Canada. And I've never had a passport in my life. I've never needed one. I've been to Canada multiple times, but I've never needed a passport. 9/11 and other circumstances and so forth created that situation. So, it is what it is. So I applied for it. Went to Conneaut Library. They said that they take care of that for a fee, and they take your picture and do all that, submit it all. And I was very pleased with it. I've never done all that before, and wanted to make sure all the paperwork was filled out properly. You don't want to submit it and then find out, oh, you got this box wrong. Like, oh, geez, okay. Well, don't want to do that. So they helped me out. It got submitted, and I know the Department of whatever U.S. government agency oversees that stuff, they cashed my check, so I know that that's been done. So I'm still waiting for that to show up in the mail. Couldn't find my original birth certificate. I have it somewhere in the house. I know I do. So I had to request a replacement, and that got turned in with the paperwork. They said, well, we turned this in and we send it in. Like, wow, do I get it back? And apparently they do send it back at some point. That's crazy. I'm figuring by the end of May here, hopefully the passport card will show up and I'll feel better. I've got a tentative route planned. We're going to take 2 weeks in August, and I am going to go over the Mackinac Bridge, going over to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Don't know how I feel about that, but it's tentatively on the list. And then we'll go into Canada. I guess we'll be near Sault Ste. Marie. Don't know much about this part of Canada. I've only really ever been to Niagara Falls or crossed at Buffalo. And even Clay said, wow, that section that we're going across, he doesn't know anything about it and doesn't know what kind of stuff we're going to run into or see, if anything. Well, I figure there's got to be places to at least stop for a hotel. Maybe the road will be nice. Yeah, I don't know. But we're going to work our way over towards New England. I don't know if we'll cross at Vermont, New Hampshire, or what. I don't know. But we're going to head that direction, and hopefully we will see some nice sights in New England too. Want to get into Maine. I want to go sit on the ocean and have lobster again. I've done it once, but I'd like to do it again. Spend a little more time in Maine. Spend a little time on some of the roads in Vermont and New Hampshire, and then come across, maybe take the ferry across to New York, or we'll drop down and just cross New York. Wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of the Finger Lakes, and want to get over to the Star Trek original series set tour. I want to say it's Ticonderoga. I always get the name of the city wrong, but that sounds like that's where it is. Now, the weeks that we're going to go, I believe the first weekend after we would take off is when they're going to have dignitaries there, including Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, and William Shatner. And they're charging some really huge prices for admission and meet and greets and pictures. And I don't, as much as I would love that, I don't want to do that. I just want to go see it prior to all of the festivities. So I'm hoping that we can get in there and just get a normal ticket for, you know, going through and seeing what the set tour is like before the dignitaries show up. Like I said, I would be thrilled to death to see these performers that really made Star Trek what it is between the original series and the Next Generation. It's just not in the cards, and not really something I want to spend that kind of money on. So then we're going to work our way towards Niagara Falls, and hopefully Melissa will meet us in Niagara Falls, Canada, and we'll be tourists for a few days, and then I'll head back towards home at the end of closer to the end of the 2 weeks. And I think it will be fantastic. It's going to be nice and relaxed, and I think this year it will be much cooler than the 90+ degree days that we ran into when we were going south last year. I have no desire to take the motorcycle to the top, but I would not be opposed to taking one of their guided tram tours up. I thought that was nice the last time that I was there and did that. So we'll see if Clay's interested in doing that. I mean, there's a lot of things to do up that way, so it'll be nice. We'll see how all of that goes. So what I'm going to do in this video here is I'm taking the leisurely way to the theater. I'm going to head north on Route 7, and more than likely I'm going to get something to eat. But what I want to do is turn the GoPro back on my way home, because it will be twilight and getting dark a bit. So I've not done a nighttime video per se. I think last year I did one that was sort of twilight-ish in Georgia, but it wasn't really all that dark. You know, just to see what the views are like at night, because I think that would be an interesting take on doing this first video. So I am going to cut this off here shortly, as soon as I get through this intersection here, which is, this one's just a absolute disaster. It's all right. Yeah, communicate, that's all. Just want to be sure that everybody understands what we're doing back there, so it's all good. Okay, so having said all of that and getting through there, I will see you all again in a couple of hours. Actually, it's probably going to be after 9 o'clock, so that will be for my journey back home to Ashtabula. We'll see you there in a few minutes. Okay, rehearsal's over. Going to head home. I think I'm going to put the seat heater on low just to take a little bit of the edge off. So this is how different it looks at night. When there are no cars around, I tend to run the high beams quite a bit more, because it will shine out much further. When there's oncoming traffic, I use the oncoming lights to help shine the road so I can see things in it. Right now it says the rear tire's a little low. Once I get moving and it warms up a little bit, the pressure will come up some and should be just fine. So right now, I think it started at 60 degrees when I left the theater. It's at 59 right now. So basically, this is just a little video about trip to the theater and trip back home. I'm heading straight home. I'm not taking the scenic route. And I think the weather's going to be great all week, although I do need to take my car on Wednesday because I'm going to be emceeing a Junior Achievement 18 for 18, I think is the name of it, or 18 under 18. It's recognizing youth, 18 youth who are under the age of 18, who have done significant things that are important to lives, to their community, to their schools, making some good achievements, making a difference. And so I'm going to be doing that on Wednesday evening. Should be a lot of fun. It's the first time they're doing that in Ashtabula County, so it's all new to me, all new to Junior Achievement. We've got an agenda, we've got a plan, and hopefully it will go well and that everyone will enjoy themselves, especially the students who are going to be recognized. So I'm looking forward to that evening. So rehearsal went well. It is a musical. I alluded to that in the first part of this video. Didn't do any singing tonight, which was fine by me. Eventually that's going to come, and there's not much I can do about it. Okay, are you turning or are you not? Trying to figure out what you're doing. Trying to hear a little bit of music in the background as I'm talking. Playing some oldies, listening to Jim Croce, Johnny Rivers. I think that was an electric something. I have no idea what it was, but it sounded like it was going full blast. Yeah, there's some Beach Boys on here. There's some other good music, which I enjoy. Gary Puckett in the Union Gap. Just stuff that's fun to listen to. I'm really glad that they repaved this road. I want to say it was last year. Wow, made a big difference. It was so overdue. If Ashtabula City would get Michigan Avenue, that would be wonderful. It really does look like France just completely bombed out. It is so bad. Takes time to get to all the roads. And I'm tickled to death that they finally got in front of my house done. That's been needed for about 15 years. Just keeps sinking, and they kept filling it in. You're not fixing the problem, you're just making it go away. And then the fill would break away and end up in my front yard. So now it looks like it's been corrected completely and properly. So I'm very thankful for that, but it took some time to get it done. Alright, what's going on here that we're taking our time? Wow. Okay. This car in front of me is concerning because they seem to keep drifting towards the center. And right now I'm in between a little bit of a mess here where the speed, this is where you have to decide, are you going to slow down or are you going to speed up? Because I don't like hanging out over here. Now I see that this car is probably going to cut over. So I am now going to speed up and we'll alleviate this nightmare. Okay, so we're away from that mess that I wasn't even too sure what was going on. I'm going to stay over here for a little bit because it's a deer section here. It's not ideal, but I also don't want, if I have to make a maneuver, I want as much room as possible. And right now I can go right, I can go left if I have to. Alright, so now time to get over. It's all feel things, especially when you're riding a motorcycle, and you want to make the least risky moves. That's what I like to tell students, and that's what we teach. What's the least amount of risk? You increase your level of risk doing certain things, take the least risky. My goodness. Riding a motorcycle is hard enough. Just have to pay attention to everything, like this car coming from the side. Are they going to come to a stop? Looks like they are. Thank you. Anymore, it's gotten so bad that people just ignore stop signs. They take a glance and then they just go. They don't stop. Somebody's going to get seriously hurt. And I'm sure a lot of people have already been seriously hurt because people aren't paying attention. I do like that Ohio has come out with a law that basically says, put your phones down, can't hold them up. Look, I see it all the time. People are holding a phone in their hand and talking on it. I just can't fathom it. In 2023, everything is so hands-free. Why do you need to hold a phone? I don't get it. Just doesn't make any sense. I mean, even my motorcycle here is hands-free, and I see CarPlay shut down. There's something weird going on with the Bluetooth. Haven't quite nailed it yet to see what's going on, but for some reason it just cuts off and wants to shut down. So I'm going to shut off the helmet and turn it back on and see if I can get the helmet to connect. Well, it connected pretty quickly, actually. I don't know if you can see it, but the road here is just grooved where the two sets of car and truck tires go. Really grooved. So there's indentations, and the center is actually humped. That just comes from a lot of traffic, a lot of truck traffic, heavy trucks, you name it. Austinburg gets like that too because of all the truck traffic with the truck stops. So I've got the seat heater on 2 of 5 and I'm feeling it pretty good. I don't have the grip heaters on. I got leather gloves on, so that's doing a pretty good job. But I'll tell you what, the seat heater does feel good on some days. I've never had it on full blast, but I'm sure that it would cook my backside. Sounds crazy, but I'm listening to Henry Mancini's greatest hits. It was a Peter Gunn theme. I've always liked that song because I used to play the old Spy Hunter video game, and I just thought the music was so cool. I don't know why. Just clicked. So I still like the music to this day. I don't know, because if the GoPro has correction for all the bounces and everything, you might not notice the motorcycles really bouncing around here, There's some of those, I don't know, it's almost like it's a speed bump kind of thing that develops, and I think it's from the freeze thaw that goes on underneath the roadway. It just forms these humps that are like speed bumps, and they're really kind of annoying. They're a little bit more palatable in a car, but on a motorcycle they're a little bit on the rougher side. And I don't get it, you know. I was creeping up on that car, and as soon as I get in the left lane it speeds up. Jesus, I don't get that. So which forces me to go faster to get around it. And once I do get around it, he slows down. Awesome. As soon as I get around this curve here, I will get back in the right-hand lane. This section of Route 20, I just... wow. So bad. It just gets so busy and people don't pay attention and they want to get in and out where they want to go. This time of day it shouldn't be too bad, but never know. Really? Are you going to stop at all? Or just roll and roll and roll? Jeez. Don't do it. Alright. Dark windows. Can't see squat. Don't tell me you can. $3.65 a gallon. Yeesh. I got a Big Mac meal earlier. I got the large size, large fries, large drink. Got the Big Mac. It was over $11 for the meal. I could not believe it. Thank you. Appreciate that, dude. Car wash. I need to go get this bike washed. The lower part of the bike is absolutely trashed from riding in the rain yesterday near Punderson State Park. Might do it tomorrow if it warms up. Today it was, I guess it was warm enough to do it, but just didn't feel like it. I'm okay riding it with it a little bit trashed. That's okay. Nice stop. Jeez. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so obviously there's a left turn signal going on. Critter in the road. It is very pleasant. I mean, it says it's 59 degrees and most people would go, there's no way I'd be on a motorcycle right now, but I'm dressed for it. I'm wearing my Bond body armor Kevlar black jacket, which is the one I wear when it's cooler, and it's doing very well right now, actually. I've not felt cold at all. My hands don't feel cold just wearing standard leather gloves. I thought about bringing something a little bit heavier. I've got so many riding gloves and riding jackets and everything for all different temperatures and conditions. Almost obsessive. I am wearing some new boots. They're Alpine Stars, which I've got a pair that I wear most of the time that are vented and allow air through, and they feel really good, but when it's wet or raining or whatever, they're not waterproof. So I bought some waterproof Alpine Stars boots, and I'm wearing them quite a bit right now so that I can get used to them. They seem very narrow for me. When I first got them, I'm like, my foot is not going to go into that. But I've been pleasantly surprised that my foot actually does go in it very well, and they're very comfortable. The ones that I have that are vented are not comfortable to walk in. They are fantastic if you are, what do I want to say, if you're riding. And these are comfortable riding, the waterproof ones. Wow, that car seems like it's going to blow up. But these are comfortable to walk in as well, so I thought that they were a very good purchase. They were $180 though. Alright. But to me it's worth it if I can get like 5 or 6 riding seasons out of them. I think the vented ones, I'm not sure how long I've had them, but the heels are starting to get, or heels, the soles are starting to wear out because I've been wearing them so much. And for the Canada trip, I'd like to wear these boots as the one pair of riding wear that I'll use. So I only want to carry one pair, and that'd be the pair that I'm wearing. My goodness, I can't talk. So then when we're not riding, I'll change into like some Skechers or some tennis shoes or something. There will be times that I'll be doing the touristy kind of thing for brief periods, and I'll have the boots on, and I want to be comfortable and not have my feet hurt. Fellow bikers out late at night. Awesome. Alright, so that's what it's like to ride at night. Most people don't like it. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm not afraid of it either. So at this point, I'm going to cut the video off and wish you all a pleasant week, pleasant weekend, pleasant night, all that fun stuff. So until next time,